Hello everyone and welcome back to my second channel. Welcome to Jack in the Books. One of the biggest questions that I get asked on this channel is how do you afford to buy so many books? And I think a common misconception is that reading is a very expensive habit because you need to keep buying every single book that you read. And today I wanted to basically dispel that myth and talk about how most of the books that I read are cheap / free. So I've basically been compiling a list of my complete guide to how to read on a budget. Listen, I know how it is. Some of us are living la vida broca. We need to read these books for free or for cheap. So I'm going to start with ways to read more books that are free, and then we'll move on to cheap stuff in a bit. First thing you can do, probably the best thing you can do if you want to read physical books, is get a library card. I feel like this one is so obvious and self-explanatory that we all kind of forget that there are literally libraries waiting for us with every book we could possibly dream of. And not only are they completely free, but also having a deadline of when you need to return that book by kind of gives you a bit of a sense of urgency to finish the book in a certain time period. So first thing you should do, register with your local library. And that leads into my second tip, which is to use the app Libby. Libby is an app I discovered this year where you can basically sign in using your library card and then you get access to a load of ebooks and audiobooks. Because what I didn't realize is that libraries can also lend you ebooks and audiobooks. So they will only have a certain number of copies of each book and you might have to wait in a queue and you'll get an alert when they're free to borrow. But this is a way you can read a lot of new releases for free. For example, I read The Midnight Library on there. Moving on from library cards now, we come to LibriVox, which is an app which has access to loads of classic audiobooks. In the UK, after an author's been dead for 70 years, their books come out of copyright, meaning that LibriVox can record audiobooks for them and then we can read them or listen to them for free. The next way you can read more books for free is to exchange them. And you could do this via book swaps with your friends or family. If you know other people who are really interested in reading, swap your books with them, pass them around. Or alternatively, if your area has them, you could use little free libraries. They're basically these boxes dotted all around the world where people leave their old unwanted books. You can take your old unwanted books and swap yours for theirs. I recently went to one in London and swapped some old unwanted books for these 3 new ones. So I was buzzing. And you can locate where they are and see if there's any near you on the Little Free Libraries website. It's actually a really fun day out to just take a bag of old unwanted books and spend the day swapping them and exploring your city. I found it such a good way to see more areas in the city that I live in. So that's a way you can exchange books with strangers. Now the next way you can read things for free may not apply to absolutely everyone, but there's a website called NetGalley. And NetGalley is basically a website where publishers will advertise when a new book is coming out and you can request to read it in advance. And the idea is that they send you a free online copy in exchange for an honest review, because so much of book publishing and book marketing is done through word of mouth. You're very likely to be sent an ARC, so an advanced reader's copy of these books. So those were the free ways to read more books, and now let's get on to cheap ways to read more books. The first thing I wanted to talk about here was Blinkist, and they very kindly actually sponsored this video and given us a little discount, which is so exciting. So thank you, Blinkist. I really, really appreciate it. Blinkist takes top non-fiction books, extracts all the key takeaways and distills them into a 15-minute blink. And then you can listen to the blink and basically consume the knowledge from a lot of these non-fiction books and basically get big ideas in a small little package. And you can get this as an app on your mobile or your iPad, and there's also a desktop version. And this is ridiculously cost efficient because you just pay one payment per month and then you get access to thousands of books instead of paying the price for physical books. So it's also space saving and time efficient. As I said, they're usually about 15 minutes long, which makes them perfect when you want to listen to something when you're just walking somewhere or doing something. My personal highlights, I think, would be Atomic Habits, which is the best nonfiction book I've ever read. It's so good. It's all about making tiny changes in your life to your routines and your structure to see big changes. Other books on there, you've got the 5 a.m. Club, the 4-Hour Work Week, How to Make Friends and Influence People. There's also loads of memoirs. So you've got Elon Musk, Michelle Obama's Becoming is on there, which I listened to and it was so good. And also Educated by Tara Westover is such a good memoir and you can listen to it on Blinkist. And so I have secured a special offer just for you guys on Blinkist. So if you click the link in the description, you can start a free 7-day trial and then get 25% off premium membership. So click the link, get involved. Trust me, I recommend it to everyone I know. And now for more cheap ways you can buy physical books. So the first place that I always use is Abe Books. Abe Books is my go-to for buying secondhand books because it has so many independent sellers all on one platform. You can usually get classics for like £2 to £3 and then secondhand new releases for like £5 or £6. It's super easy to use. A lot of places also do free postage and it's basically just a directory of all the different secondhand shops. The only thing is, it is owned by Amazon, which is so annoying, but there is an alternative to that, which is World of Books, and World of Books is not Amazon owned, and World of Books is one of the retailers who are stocked on Abe Books, but you can also shop direct from World of Books. And again, they just have a myriad of fiction and non-fiction, pretty much every book you can imagine, but secondhand. Just quickly, actually, I will just say the things to look out for when you are buying secondhand. Firstly, make sure it says what quality the book is in. Usually it will say whether there's damage to the spine or to the cover. It should also say whether there's highlighting or markings on the inside pages of the book, so like whether someone has made their own notes or underlined things. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I do think it's nice to see how someone else enjoyed the book and see what extracts they enjoyed and where they made loads of notes and what they thought. But other times, it's very annoying. So I tend to avoid books that have been annotated or have notes inside. Also, I would say think realistically about the cost. So for example, if there's a worn and damaged version of the book for like £3.50, but then a like new copy for £4.50, it is worth paying that extra pound to have a better quality copy of the book. Because even though you are paying a little bit more, you're still saving massively from buying it brand new. The other thing to check is the postage price. As I said, a lot of places will do it for free. Other places will charge you extortionate amounts, especially if it's coming from another country. So just check where it's coming from and how much postage is going to cost before you get your hopes up. Which leads me on to Book Depository. Book Depository is basically a website where you can get books from other countries, so you can get like a different edition of the book. For example, if the US cover of a book is ugly as hell, the UK version of the book might be beautiful. And so you can order via Book Depository and get like the version of the book that you want. Next we have charity shops. Charity shops are an absolute godsend. I am a frequent visitor to my local Oxfam bookshop. I get everything for like £2.75. In fact, I bought this, which is a brand new release, for £2.75. This is nominated for the Women's Prize this year, was shortlisted for the 2020 Booker Prize, and it's in perfect condition. The original price of this was £14.99. Whoa, look at that, that's beautiful. And I bought it for £2.75. Trust me, charity shops have some banging books, especially if you go to a city. Like if you're visiting a city, definitely go and check out the charity shops because they usually have a much better selection because they have more visitors, they also have more people donating, and they just move around the stock a lot more. Leading on from that, Oxfam Bookshop also have a really good website where you can order online. But sticking with physical shops, you could also go to your local thrift stores. Sometimes independent bookshops will also have a secondhand section, and also often there are just designated secondhand bookstores. So yeah, make sure you check out physical shops as well. But moving back online, we're going a bit all over the place here. You could also try eBay, Depop, Facebook Marketplace. I have seen so many absolute bargains on Facebook Marketplace. In fact, one time I actually bought like the complete works of Shakespeare for so cheap. Usually when people are looking to move house or when they're leaving university, they're looking to shift books because they're heavy. And when people are shifting a lot of books, they tend to sell each individual book for quite a cheap price, or you can get deals and bargains on like a group of books. So yeah, definitely recommend just checking out like individual sellers as well. There's also a website called Awesome Books. And then finally, we do of course have Amazon Secondhand. Look, a lot of secondhand booksellers will sell on Amazon. Usually it will say like the price for the book, and then you can have the options for the new book or used books. If you click on that, it will give you a list of all the different places selling the books, the price they're selling it, the postage they charge. So yeah, these are the ways that I buy pretty much every book I own. It's very, very rare that I would buy a brand new book. What I would say is keep a list in your phone of all of the books that you want, so that when you do go to charity shops or thrift stores, you can kind of look out for them, because usually they will be alphabetized. So as fun as it is just to browse every single book that's on the shelf, it is also good to go in with a bit of focus and go straight to certain authors and certain places in the alphabet. I hope that this video helps you to get your mitts on some free or cheap books. Thank you so much to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. I genuinely am such a big fan of Blinkist. I've been using it for a whole year now, and that is why I really wanted to recommend it to you, and so I'm so buzzing that they said yes to collaborating with me. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more from me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye!